All righty, gents. All righty. Al Pacino. Al Pacino in the movie Devil's Advocate. God, watched it again. Great. X-Mask, good to see you, brother. Metal Gear, Motley Crue. I wanted to play Shout at the Devil. That would have probably been a better song. Christian Henney, good to see you. Hope all is well. And those that are listening, I'm doing a little bit later one today. Busy day today, but all is well. Good to have everybody in the chat. Gone with John's birthday is today. So happy birthday to Gone with John. And then see, yesterday it was Chars, and then results oriented, and a bunch of birthdays in August. Bunch of Leos. Got a bunch of Leos in the pack. Ishi, good to see you, brother. Let the Motley Crue out. Vince Neil cannot sing anymore, unfortunately. I think they're going to cancel their residency. I think they're realizing that the pipes just aren't there anymore. The pipes are not there for Vince Neil. And he looks like an old woman, too. Seventh Veil is down the street from me. Attaboy. BJ Fornash in the chat. Good to see you. But there's an interesting, I was watching this last night. It's a great movie. Has anybody seen Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, Charlize Theron? Man, she looked good at 23. And Al Pacino, right? In the end, the very final scene, Al Pacino, or John Milton, also known as Lucifer, he's the devil in the movie, owns a law firm, and he wants his son, Keanu Reeves. Keanu finds out that that is his father. Wants his son to get with the other woman in the firm, who happens to be his half-sister, because, well, that's just how it worked out. Probably down some weird line of biological offspring. And he says, so Keanu Reeves is about ready to pound on this gal, very hot-looking woman. Her name's Connie Nielsen in real life. I think she's Australian, very attractive woman. Metal Gear saw it. There you go. So you remember the last scene, and it's very interesting. And Keanu Reeves, he's mounting her. He's almost ready to just throw down. He's on kissing the chick. And then he pulls back and says, what about love? And Al Pacino says, love. I can't even do it. He says, love is the biological equivalent of eating large quantities of chocolate. And I thought that was so, this is 1997, if you think about it. Have we been talking about the dopamine, the serotonin, the vasopressin, and the, what's the other one? Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, vasopressin, 4 of them. Those are the chemicals that potentially is love. And here Al Pacino is saying this in 1997 in the film Devil's Advocate. Love is the biological equivalent of eating large quantities of chocolate. Same chemicals. So with that being said, I figured we would chat about that the dopamine and the chemicals in life are just that, just chemicals. And we label them as such to make ourselves feel better, to live in a world of fantasy. I don't believe in a romantic love gesture. I believe that two people could learn to love each other, not like a deep love of compassion, respect, things like that. But this whole notion of romantic love is just love. The real Uncle Hector, she's got a great ass. Yes, he said that too. Overrated like a box of chocolates. Al Pacino was pretty good. He's an interesting actor for sure. Timmy Kramer in San Diego. Never kiss a woman's ass. She is here to make you dinner. Women were great cooks at one time. They truly were. They loved to be cooks. They loved being housewives. And then somebody got a hold of them and thought, you know what? We can be equal to men. Great. We can do everything a man can do. Great. And look what happened. Look what world we're living in. Right now, that big asteroid is hurling itself to Earth. It's a 1/4 mile wide and 7 miles long, and supposed to pass us in 2027. Who knows if we'll make it? It might be a full-on reset of humanity. We'll see. And in the end, Metal Gear, Vanity, definitely my favorite sin. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I hadn't seen it since it came out. And I probably forgot 90% of it. And what a great movie. Great acting, great messaging. Following the wrong trap is what Keanu Reeves did when he went after the blood money, right? And then he had a do-over in the end. So what do we do as men, right? What are we seeking in life? Hey, I was guilty of it too. At 23, I want to be a billionaire. I want my own fleet of Lamborghinis and exotic supercars and expensive watches and huge houses. We all wanted that, but at what cost? Chocolate contains stimulating caffeine, attaboy. Not quite as good as dark chocolate, I think. Dark chocolate, the darker, the better for your body. Vanity, again, is basically flexing for external validation. Man, they can't even get the DoorDash order right these days, let alone cook. I got my neighbor always orders DoorDash, and no wonder she's broke. I mean, you can walk a half a block and get Chipotle, but they order it and costs them $15 for them to deliver it 2 blocks away. JR, good to see you, brother. Hope you are well. But that is the reality. Look, I think the last few live streams I've been doing is based on how a man can improve himself, look out for the traps of life. Vanity, another trap for men. And who's it for? Let's say these guys on Wall Street. I've known a couple of Wall Street guys. Yeah, they made a shit ton of money, but you know what? At what cost? They all have heart attacks at age 36. They're on 3 marriages by the time they're 42. They're being taken to the cleaners by 2 of their ex-wives. And they have kids that are probably misbehaved, all for what? Who are they impressing? This is what men have to figure out. And usually it takes us longer to figure it out. We have to go through something. We have to realize something. Very few get it before this. Every one of us wants to hustle at one point. We want to be great providers and protectors. We want to, have the nice things in life, but at what cost? You can't trust DoorDash once you have your culinary mind. Attaboy, Metal Gear. Playing the video games, Mr. Henny. Al Pacino's Son of a Woman was ultimate symptom, PUA, BS. Yep. There's a few there. I don't like everything he's done. I mean, he's obviously he's a method actor, which is old school acting. But, I really enjoyed watching The Devil's Advocate again, especially knowing and having gone through the last 10 years of life and just really, and then hearing that quote at the end, it was, wow. I had to share it. Realist vision. I think the main purpose of love and marriage, if you want children, given the state of the world we are heading towards, WW Trace, who in the right mind wants to bring children into that? I had that exact discussion with a friend of mine today. I said, these kids today that want to get married, they have no idea what they're getting into and having kids if they want kids, right? Betty, good to see you, brother. Watching car rallies. There you go. Every dog day afternoon got me completely thrown off. Even dog day afternoon. Rad, did your mom-in-law bud in when you were? Yes, she was always around. We tried to get away from her. She always tried to give us advice. She tried to give me advice so when the ex-wife filed for divorce 10 years ago, she called me. We had a decent relationship, and she had called me and she says, you need to do what's best for your kids and give blankety blank, the ex, the house and everything. And I'm like, and I hung up on her. I'm like, no, she gets half of everything. That's the way to do it. So yeah, we deal with a lot of these chemicals in life, and these chemicals can literally throw us off our game. They can get us in trouble real quickly. Those 4 chemicals we just talked about, oxytocin, serotonin, vasopressin, and dopamine, can throw us off so quickly. we could, it could be life or death in situations, especially those guys that are so into falling in love in like the first 2 hours with the woman that they will sacrifice everything, including themselves, for her to reciprocate that, which they typically don't. It's just a way they are. Again, women have a very different way of showing their emotions towards men versus men to women. We all eat, those that have been married or been in love, we gave everything, hoping we get the same back. I'm not saying that's for everyone. 98% of women are not recommended. I don't date. She won't get nothing from me. A way to keep yourself safe. Gone with John. Happy birthday, brother. Big old 39. Is that what I hear? You're going to beat a big 50 next year. 50. You got to do something on your 50th. On my 50th, I hiked Mount Timpanogos. It's the largest peak in Utah. It took 17 miles. What was it? 3,200 feet of elevation. 1,500 feet of elevation in the last half. You got to do something fun. Jump out of an airplane. Do something crazy. But happy birthday, brother. Getting married is just what people did back in the day, but it's a terrible deal in modern day relationships. I don't think it's very effective anymore. Reason women get divorces more frequently because of other women. 304s. JR. Tell them to pay attention to the girls' fam. They will be stuck with that. Yes. I tell my boys, if you like a girl, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to try to recommend certain situations with life. Look at the mother, and if the mom and dad are still married, how does the mother interact with the father? And to go even one step further, find out about this girl and what she thinks of her father. Betty, you're right. I don't think they do either. Big John is 49, man. 4 years younger than me. I turned 53 this week, too. Lots of birthdays in the teens. Metal Gear, 50 years old. Attaboy. I think turning 50 has been the greatest thing for me. I mean, I really believe that. It like flipped a switch for me that said, you know what? I'm not going to live the next 32 years of my life for other people, doing things I don't want to do, being a pawn in the game. I'm going to go out and do my thing now. We don't know what's wrong with them, Christian. We don't know. Rab, there's zero excuses, man. 2025, the puddles are labeled. It's a challenging situation for sure. It's a challenging situation for sure. We're seeing a lot of very interesting things coming about. Artificial intelligence, the state of division between men and women, the impact of a division of political beliefs, how far it's gone. People are willing to go to all sorts of, I mean, you wear a hat and you can get your ass kicked. I mean, it's crazy. Beta male supply is drying up, but still there are too many suckers. Well said. Slam Cave, good to see you. Most ladies are damaged and will always end in pain. They are not special. 98% of women are not recommended. I'm 32, soon next year, 33. I need to achieve. We'll do something on your, just do something. Every birthday, do something. Every birthday, I ride my bike or do something important. Your mood remains good when you don't get disrespected around the clock. We have to start. Someday we have to stand up and say, you know what? It makes sense to. If you have little kids, obviously you got to take care of your kids until they get to an age of independence and they're not minors anymore. But that might be 5 years. That might be 15 years. But hold on to the mentality that, you know, every day is a better day. You're still going to be in the system. I got a buddy whose kid just got divorced. They have a 1.5-year-old and they're 27 or 28 years old, maybe 29. They're going through a divorce. I'm just thinking to myself, they're going to have to deal with each other for the next 16 and a half years till that kid, but probably more, 17, until that kid is not a minor anymore. 17 more years and they hate each other. Go figure. Good for you losing weight, brother. I do triage. It's crazy to see a man fresh from a construction site with a fat attitude having woman. Yep. It's just, again, I was talking to my buddy today, and we were talking about the whole state of, between men and women, and a lot of men, men have caused the majority of the simpery. Men have caused a lot of the issues with these gals because we didn't stand up. Judges, police officers. I mean, think about it. The police are typically called to domestic violence calls because the woman typically calls and says, he's abusive, and try to pull the guy out and to get him in trouble with the court so she gets more custody. Again, the majority of those authorities are men. Now, they have no idea what's going to happen to them when their wives divorce them. So it's crazy. More importantly, testosterone boost is good. Men who are planning to get married in these times are playing with a blank, maybe even self-blank. If they know the risk, there's no talking them down. Everyone's got to learn. I think that's the key. We all had to learn. We all had to go through something. Some of us 2 marriages, maybe 3 marriages, kids, long divorces, long breakups, infidelity, sickness, you name it. You see me wheelchair bound. I had 100% plan on going on disability and moving back to India as a $1,500 a lot there, but I couldn't move because of kids' love. Now I would move when they are grown or when they're grown up. There you go. Yeah, you're gonna have to be around them. There you go. I want to be the Harriet Tubman for these men. Slide them one-way ticket anywhere. It's unfortunately, men are such fighters that they will not quit typically. I mean, 80% of divorces or breakups are done by ladies. So, 80% of men fight. They don't want to give up. Yeah, it might be tough, but they've invested. They don't want to lose the investment. It's as simple as that. Maybe someday it'll get better. I don't think so. Slam says men are thirsty. Simps are enablers and allow women to get away with blanking their own kids. I agree. That's what you meant. Yeah, keep on hustling, man. Kids will see that. They don't care if you're in a seat with wheels. You're the dad. You teach them right. Stay the path. If you need to vent about the ex, you vent online, or you vent in a notebook. You don't vent in front of your kids. You be the real man. We're men. We're guys that want to stand up and do the right thing. Again, these channels are for men to help men to vent. That's really pretty much at the end of the day. That's why I do it. There are guys that need to let this out. There are guys that have had challenging issues in life and they have nowhere to go. And then there's forums that can talk back to them and people can respond back to them. And I think this is probably the greatest thing that men can do for one another is listen to each other, either in chats or comments. It's as simple as that. So many people are struggling right now. They have nowhere to go. What's that quote? Men are struggling, are living lives of quiet desperation. There are men literally sitting tonight, right now, on a couch, getting home from work, being disrespected by a boss, by coworkers, not hearing from their kids, being alienated, having to pay all this money, in debt, living in their car, living in their basement. They're literally 2 seconds away from wanting to not exist anymore. And there is a way to get through it, because if we've done it, they can do it, right? The first few months are hard, man. But when you find the peace and quiet and money to chase your dreams, do whatever. Yep, you can always build back that money. Real men are us, not coaxed by ladies of what kind of men they want us to be. Everyone's got to be real. If you've been married or gone through it, there has been times when they've tried to mold us in certain ways or get what they want. Now, my ex could never, ever mold me. There were times when I simped because I wanted the peace in the house, but she could never mold me. And that's probably why she realized my dad is too alpha at the time. Her dad was a real beta male. Nice guy, but wet noodle. Well said, X-Matt. If a man sheds tears, there's something seriously wrong. We'll agree with that statement. Female celebrities are nuts. Post-nut clarity, good to see you, brother. Bodybuilding, what's up, brother? Wonder how many wives cheat. They say it's the same as men. The guy, what's that name? That divorce lawyer that's making the rounds all over YouTube and Joe Rogan. He says that it's the same infidelity rates for husbands and wives. That Sydney Sweeney, she's a nice person to look at, that's for sure. There's good men, and then there's simps that get the female validation any way they can. These men will sell you out for some. Yeah, they will. I've seen it. There's guys that'll go behind their best friend's back to get with the girl. Right? Ishii says, Dr. Dre, Tom Brady, Jordan, how did it go for them? Schwarzenegger. Who? Brad Pitt. I think he wanted to make his marriage work to that whack job. He tried. But, man, that guy went through. I mean, I think they're divorced, or they got a bifurcated divorce. If anybody knows what a bifurcated divorce is, I'll give you a hat. Bifurcated divorce basically means you're divorced, but you're not. You're divorced, but you still have issues to resolve, financial issues, could be business issues, things like that. A bifurcated divorce. I mean, Eminem got divorced. That's right. Timothy Sokol, good to see you. Just walked in. San Pedro. What's up with San Pedro? I want to get married, but it's not fun anymore. Brad just doesn't know how to quit. It's probably his Midwest roots. At 59, the society turns me off. Is it me or is it that? I just think what I think this is what society has done. I was thinking about this today. That's interesting you brought that up, Mayor. I was thinking, okay, so I work. I don't really have to work as like I did. I'm just basically holding on to this house sales. It's still working. It's still doing the thing that I can, but I feel like I'm in a little bit of a purgatory, like life purgatory at this point. And it's fine because my boys are here and I've been able to spend more time with them. But I think to myself, I work out, I ride my bike, I walk, I watch some old movies, and then it's like I go to bed. And sometimes I'm like, just society, it's a weird world right now. You know what I mean? There's only so many sports teams you can watch at a bar, right? Nobody wants to be in a relationship. Well said. Women cheat because there's always a simp to cheat with. A simp, yeah. I mean, simps are pretty much men that have very emotional states. Women are getting more and more desperate. Yeah. But maybe it might be an act, all these YouTube videos that are going on. You'll never catch a lady cheating because men don't require non-sexual attention. Married men are delusional. I will work hard, make more money, do anything she would say. She would love me. Life gets better. Life truly gets better. I was talking the other day, like, what if your wife wasn't like that? We didn't, we just had gone through two different directions. We were getting to the point where we just didn't like each other. And I don't think that would ever come back. Jeez. Chinese bots with feet. You know what? I mean, they've cloned Dolly the sheep. I mean, it's very interesting. If they can make a fake womb or an artificial womb to have, so women don't have to carry, which would be very interesting. I mean, I don't think it could be an impossibility, but who knows at this point. But you think about this. If they can do that, why can't they put a hair on your head? I've always thought that. They do all these crazy quantum computing. How come they can't cure baldness? It's like the weirdest thing. They got these little tiny computers called nanobots that are 1/10 the size of a grain of rice that will go in and fix your heart. You'll swallow the damn thing. It'll be programmed by the surgeon and it'll fix your damn heart while you're sleeping in your own bed. But they can't put a head. They can't make a bald man hairier on top yet. Crazy. Hemi, good to see you, brother. Hemi up in Canada. Bolo's Canadian. Nino. Dak. Chris Mitchell. Mars, good to see you. What's going on? We built a city on rock and roll. That was a fun song when it came out in the 80s. Jefferson Starship. Well, no, they went by Starship at that. They were Jefferson Airplane, then Jefferson Starship, then when they went to Starship. That's the weirdest song, but it's actually got a good beat. I think it was like in the top 5 with Casey Kasem. We built this city on rock and roll, built this city. Ask Mask what key that's in. Is that a B minor? Mochi, good to see you, brother. The problem with technology, when I grew up, technology was a color television. Right, Mayor? Right, John? We had Pong. I remember as a 7-year-old playing Pong against my father on a black and white 500-pound box of Zenith television. Remember the Zenith television with the big knobs? There's 2 knobs, the channel knob and the volume knob. And and I think in the back you could put, you could flip it or something. I can't remember. That's what we had. That's what our technology was. Color television, then the Walkman came out, then Pac-Man. Pac-Man was the game changer, guys. Ms. Pac-Man. But Pac-Man was first. They spend more time destroying the society of the West. They can't destroy China. If you look at the history of China in the last 40 years, you'd be blown away how much they've come from 1982 to 85 till today. Those guys talk about, they fast-tracked everything. They knew exactly what they were going to do. I'd prefer do No Way Out or Find Your Way Back. There you go. Even the war in blank and blank, things are getting worse. It's just people love war. I was watching a Joe Rogan, and apparently there was some dude that was referencing an alien galaxy, and that the aliens are so far advanced they don't deal with war. We're the only species that deals with war anymore. Nope, it was Starship. Starship of the 80s, Jefferson Airplane of the late 60s. Zenith TV. Remember that Zenith TV, that big mother? We had a black and white TV till I was a junior in high school, 1989. My dad got a color TV, and it had the push button numbers with the little red digital display. Remember that? There was no knob. And then he had a remote control that plugged into the front of the TV. I think it was a color box. It wasn't a Zenith. And then the remote control came to the couch. It was like on a 15-foot cord. Those were the days. And party lines, 900 numbers, call waiting. I remember when call waiting came out. Galago is king. Well said. Radical Rafter. Good to see you, brother. Even Ms. Pac-Man had messages between the lines. She got the big ball when she'd backfire to get you. Oh, they were fast. She was fast. I believe there's other people or other species out there. I think if you look at an octopus, that damn thing's alien. They say the octopus has no genetic makeup from Earth. It doesn't come from here. Zenith was quality. It was. All women do have the ability. Well said. Men are listening. A lot of guys are waking up saying, you know, it's not worth it. Well, any guy on a dating app, even simps, are realizing that it's flipped against them. It's just a very difficult game to play if they want to find a woman today. The pyramids are 4 million years old, and we know who built them. The Anunnaki. Thoth, Thoth, go look him up. He's the bird head man that's in every civilization, on every hieroglyph, and every continent. Go read the Emerald Tablets. They still can't make the pyramids today. Jeez. With all of our technology. No air conditioning either. We didn't have AC or sprinkler system. Right? See, these kids that grow up, like my kids, I look at my boys, I'm like, you guys have had a cakewalk of a life, man. Cakewalk. I remember when that stupid internet came out, 1994, my buddy had America Online. I go, what the hell does that mean? America Online. Oh, dude, you can tap into this network. What does that mean? The only thing I knew was the Dewey Decimal System. in the library that was digitized or whatever at that point. You could go on a computer and look for a book and, by Hemingway. And it was a computer network. And he's like, no, you can check out anything. I'm like, well, what can you check out? Anything you want. It's the World Wide Web. Well, what the hell is that? What was the internet? That when I first heard the term internet, I had no idea what that meant. And the World Wide Web, that's what it used to be called. I do. I was stereos with the CD changer on top. I do. Some ladies actually enjoy getting touched by a man, but they're getting fewer by the day. Sure. Because it's creepy. Mouth agape. Good to see you, brother. But you think about it. I mean, so 1994, I'm in his dorm room, or his apartment. We're at school. And he's like, check it out. I go, what can we look at? He goes, I don't know. I go, what, can we look at a naked lady? He goes, yeah. So we tried to download a naked lady. And it took like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to download the picture. It kept, remember, it would go down and it'd stop, go down, stop, go down. Cindy Margolis for 300. It used to, basically the internet was a fax machine. Well said, Christian. Cell phones are so bad. Guys, but we're not going back. That's the problem. It was spring and summer when kids start to play outside and the females wear less and less. Well said. When simps are supporting those e-thought streamers, OF 304s, but won't take an hour to watch RP content and turn it around. There you go. Yeah. 96, the internet. Yeah, we didn't really get on until I got married and we bought a machine. We bought our first computer. It was like 1999. It's like the year my kid was born. We went to Circuit City and bought a HP computer, open box, for $500. Damn thing weighed a ton. Caller ID came out. Yep. You're born in 84, 41 years old, is she? I mean, you still caught the end of some things. The information superhighway. I might have heard that term, but I had no idea. 92, I was in Venezuela. I remember using microfiche at the library. Yeah, microfiche. I remember doing a project. You had to go to the library to do that shit. And look at the microfiche and turn it. It was like a dough roller. Remember the dough roller? You roll your dough, and you had that little damn thing that moved it. Going back to the past, Mr. Mouth Agape. Microfiche. Not fish. Fiche. Dude, we'd print all the 1,000 pictures of some nasty images of the public library and run out. There you go. Got the cheapest computer back in a date with the desktop. Well, again, computers are a commodity now. Does anyone use dial-up? Apparently, Mars, I just read a story. There's 175,000 people left on America Online. Dial-up and America Online will be shutting the dial-up doors sometime this year. Stone tablets, microfiche. Politics have shown everything. Well said. Metal Gear, so did CRTVs. CRTVs for the win. The Dewey Decimal System. There you go. People go, Ford made the first car. He didn't make the first car. It was made by Carl Benz. Mercedes-Benz is the very first car manufacturer ever. Henry Ford just made the assembly line, made it quicker. I didn't get a computer till 07. It was dial-up speed and loud. I remember those days. My parents got soaked for a set of encyclopedias from the guy going door to door. Yeah, how do phone books? Where are they now? Right. There's a huge car glut in the market today. People aren't buying cars anymore. New ones. They're just overpriced junk. Yeah, I agree. They say that new Ford Mustang electric, the Mach-E, loses half of its value in 1 year. So what if let's say it's 70 grand, it's worth 35,000 the next year. People are over it. 47, old school was a better world. It was a better world. Absolutely. I think it was harder. People appreciated people. Everything's such a commodity now. Here's another. I've been watching these old movies from the 90s, early 2000s. I just watched 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams again. Go watch that. It's kind of has a weird, there's no internet in it. It's a digital camera, but it's basically a preface into Facebook and how it makes people go delusional. I hear there's still like 50 people in the US still hiding from the wrath of Y2K. Y2K bug. Remember the dancing baby from Y2K? What decade would I live in? Oh, geez. I would live in the 50s. I think the 50s, early 50s. Like 1948 to 1957, somewhere around there. I think the cars were dope. I think the style was dope. It was when women, they were still, I mean, they had that Betty Bop look, but they were still innocent, but they were a little naughty at the same time. Such innovation. I think the 50s, like the Fonzie era for me would be dope. Not a big fan of the 60s. I don't think I would do the 60s. And then the 1800s, like a mountain man. If I had to choose 2 decades, I'd be a mountain man. 1840s, 1830s, coming in, having a squaw, getting pelts, drinking a ton of whiskey, slapping the wenches on the ass, growing a huge ass beard. I've seen a phone book. They're small. It's like 2 pages. YouTube was different then. Well said. Born in 65, teen in the 80s, best of times. Attaboy. 80s were great. I was 8 years old in 1980. So again, I turned 18. So I had the last 10 years. So I could say I'm an 84 and 12, at least 6 years. Al Pacino having another kid in him, letting his girlfriend call the shots. Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to see you. They were all over YouTube channels. That's the owners wanting to get rich quick. Well said. Rad, I'm serious. There's literally people still hiding from the white. You know what? I'm not questioning that. I bet you're right. I bet it is. There's wackos still. There's people probably still in a bunker somewhere. Car hops and drive-ins. Yep. I remember going to a drive-in in high school, made out with a girlfriend. We had a bunch of them. They were in like little towns, but there's quite a few. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the Mustang. You're going to see electric cars get really cheap. The late 50s had great guitars. Well said. A lot of slop on YouTube. Well said. I didn't start going to public school until 1980. In the 50s and 60s and the 80s, perhaps the 90s were the greatest in the end. Well, just a lot of innovation back. A lot of high inflation. The economy wasn't great. But we had to get out of that whole post-war into manufacturing and then digital. The 80s was a very futuristic time. Well said. X-Mass, the confusion between a men and women start to rapidly change dramatically. Well said. Mysterio, Rad, if you were ethnically black native, would you still say the 50s? Yes, because I think their music was dope. I guess it would depend on where you lived, right? Slapping wrenches in the wenches. That's what I'd be doing, Mars. Being a mountain man. Those guys are badass. 80s was very futuristic, but they were very optimistic. Yep. A&W Drive-In. I remember that. Man, I haven't been to an A&W for a while. They're all in gas stations out here. 80 to 83 high school, the party was on. Saw so many great heavy. Oh, man, you were back in Blue Oyster Cult, Dokken, beginning of Ozzy. Where did I keep the porn stash? My cousins had porn, and they kept it in their tractor down in California. Do you know technically that George Jetson would be 3 years old now? I did not know that. Audi cars. Audi EVs. Are they even selling? Electric cars did talk. It was Knight Rider with Kit. Remember Kit back in the day? They did talk. Knight Rider came out in like 84, 85. How is a content creator a job now? Just recording yourself, being a POS. Attaboy. I don't consider myself a content creator. That's a dumb word. They're dropping in value because there's so much competition now. If you go look at the EV market, it's like even Tesla, you can buy a new Tesla for cheaper than a year or two old Tesla. They're dropping the numbers. They can't even sell those Cybertrucks. There's a glut of them. I think people are realizing the economy is whack. Good to see you, Who. And there's issues. Remember skating up to the spot and seeing the homies? We used to skate all the time, man. I spent literally 50, 60 hours skateboarding, come home at midnight every Saturday and Friday night. 80s corn, the best. Corn, 80s corn. 80s, what does corn mean, Mayor? Rad, you were 8, 1980, not 18. Yes, I'm a 72 baby. But I spent, a significant amount of time in the 80s. I wasn't a teenager when the 80s hit, but, I became a teenager, obviously. 1986. It was 1985. It was 1989. I was 14 and experiencing alt-rock faves like Soundgarden and Sonic Youth and Nine Inch Nails. Saw Nine Inch Nails in 1990. Met Trent Reznor because we interviewed him on the bus. Cool guy. He had hair down to his ankles. Do you think Kid Ever Soul said, Michael, your flatulence is getting unbearable? We'll have to check it out. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of idiots out there. The people that do it for money, they're all going to be washed up in 5 years. Brian Renard, good to see you. Great-great-grandfather Harrison owned a farming company and paid his people $50 a month. Not bad for the late 1800s. He was black and Indian. Attaboy. Right, that's some good genetics, brother. I think the Minority Report with Cruz will be real. You still watch I gotta watch Minority Report. It's been years, probably 15 years. I gotta watch that again. I've been watching older movies now just because I'm picking out things, and a lot of these old movies don't have cell phones in them. Lots of groceries, attaboy. 80s porn. There you go, 80s porn. Who was that porn star in the 80s? Oh, gosh, she was that little blonde now. Oh, what was her name? That's how much I know porn. But she was cute. Starts with a G. The electric charger price is $70K now. Starting price is $70K. To 40 to 30K. They lose their value pretty quick. Watching Tony Hawk, attaboy. Skated with Tony Hawk several times. He's a nice guy. Nerd. I haven't seen him for probably 30 years. The pre-crime, there might be something like that. I bet they're going to come up with some sort of thing. What's your favorite decade that you have lived? I would say 80s. Yeah, 80s for me, that was probably the most innovative. And I would say probably the 2020 has been a great decade for me. 2020 to 2025 has been great. Hillary Clinton, can you imagine watching her get her box? Oh, that's a bad image. $200 groceries depends on what you're going to buy, Christian. If you're going to buy like really expensive stuff, like bad shit, like Doritos is expensive, but you could buy healthy stuff. Depends on what you buy. My work is paying for employees to go bowling tonight. I almost don't want you to go because my ex might be there. Just go. Who cares? Have fun. Don't give her the power slam. My first cell phone was a Nokia. My first one was an AudioVox in the year 2000, 30-minute a month plan. I remember those. My ex-wife and I, we had AudioVox, and you had to pull the antenna out, and we shared 300 minutes between us. And she always spent most of the minutes. Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about the guy. I really don't. Wasn't he the one that popped off about Trump or something? 80s, early 90s, it says who? Okay. Well, the problem, if you look at both parties today, it's a two-party system. One endorses the front of the check and one endorses the back of the check. That's all it is. You think these guys really hate each other? I'm sure there's people that do, but a lot of them are probably making backdoor deals. Come on, they're all rich. I have not seen that. I bought 3 bottles of Texas Pete hotter than hot sauce. It was shipped. Only one survived. Texas Pete. I think I've heard about that. Does that have the ghost pepper in it? I like bowling alleys. You're right, JR. There's some fun time and great people watching. When I like to bowl, I like to get really like flamboyant in my bowling. Like I do these crazy like stretches and slides like Jesus in The Big Lebowski. Just act all goofy. If you think about it, it's a goofy sport. I mean, you need some skill, but it's a goofy sport. Let's be real. Rad, you need to look into retiring in Albania like Portugal and Spain was a decade ago. Interesting. Carl, I'll check it out, brother. How are you doing, brother? 2 out of 3. I'm surprised they didn't wrap those up in better bubble wrap. Vanessa Del Rio. Who's the porn chick from the 80s? She was huge. Little blonde. Okay, she's probably 60 years old by now. I want to say Gina something. Remember Surge? I do. In the green can. I thought they were trying to make a comeback. Bowling versus pool. I prefer pool. Me too. It was cheaper than Tabasco. Only reason I got Texas Pete. It's decent. Tabasco. There's some. You know what? It'd be really hard to start a hot sauce company. There's so much of it. Cholula is one out here. What else? Tabasco, Frank's Red Hot. It's just saturated. I remember Surge. I was bouncing up and down like a high school strung pinball, like a kick-ass energy. Oh, Surge was the original. Wasn't it double? No, Jolt was double caffeine. But Surge was good too. It was that citrus one with a shit ton of caffeine. It was like Mountain Dew, a very citric Mountain Dew with a shit ton of caffeine. You want to travel to the UK, attaboy. Jolt Cola, there you go. I think Jolt Cola's around. I think you can still get it, but it's quite rare. When I saw Vanessa Del Rio, I lost my innocence. I don't know. I can't put a name to her. Come on, who is that? It's not Nina Hartley. Belgium and Spain would be fun. I want to go there. The guy from Offspring has his own. Yes, he does. Dexter. What is his? God, my brain is off today. Dexter Mulholland or something like that. Nina Hartley heard she stripped at a Vegas strip. The guy said he smelled some run. She's got to retire. She was one of those 80s porn chicks, and she's still a porn star, apparently. God dang, this is like making me tweaked out because she was like, it wasn't Jenna Jameson, Adrian. Her name was Gina. Or it's going to come to me right when I shut this down too. All the sugar, twice the caffeine, attaboy. And the ads were some guy scream, and the tagline was, read, feed the rush. Back in Dexter Holland. That's right. I said Mulholland, Dexter Holland. Yep. He's also a chemist, a PhD in chemistry, has 2 patents, is a private pilot, owns a shit ton of real estate. All not too bad for being a punk rocker. A lot of those early punk bands like TSOL, Bad Religion, they're all like the singers are PhDs. Like a lot of them are professors. The guy is it Jack Grisham from TSOL? He was a professor. He had a PhD and he taught at UCLA. Could you imagine going to class or your English class and it's for no reason, good to see you, brother. And it's Dexter. It's the guy from TSOL that you grew up skateboarding to. Jenny, 753-109. Oh, don't know if that's it. Need Jinko. I need something. Actually, I've been taking creatine. Ginger Lynn, that's right. I knew it was a G. Ginger Lynn. Remember her? I knew Mayor would come up with it. Results, good to see you. Happy birthday to Results Oriented. Did you turn 50 this year? Throwing some lemon and turmeric. For some reason, I don't know. I'm off today. But, creatine and a little saw palmetto ain't too bad. Lead singer of Boston was an MIT graduate. Yeah, I mean, look at the guy from Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. He flew as a commercial pilot for Canadian Airlines or whatever the airlines is out of Canada. Christian Hosoi, another great skateboarder. He's my favorite skater. Oh, that's right. He's 55. Results is 55. Gone with John just turned 49 today. Char, I don't know how old Char is. His birthday was yesterday. My birthday was earlier in the week. Lots of birthdays in August. Nina came out in Boogie Nights. She gets deleted. Oh, that's right. That's right. I didn't recognize that. Yeah, Boogie Nights, Dirk Diggler. Rad, do you think divorce has made you better and more? Yes. It's also made me at times cynical and pessimistic. Not in a bad way, more of a protective way. But I maybe that's not the right word. It's made me more cautious, knowing what I know now. And there's certain things you take as you're going through this journey that you have to understand could be good for you, it could be bad for you if you continue to give the power away. You know? We're definitely Leos, brother. I am 1,000,000 years old, says For No Raisin. There you go. God, we think about it. We've never been born and we never died. We've existed from the day of time. Billy the Goat, good to see you, brother. Billy the Goat, OG. Was there a dude named Pappas that was better? Yes. Ben Pappas was the first guy to do the 900. The Tass and Ben Pappas were brothers. In the 90s, it was Tony Hawk and the Pappas brothers that would win the top 3 spots in all of the vert competitions. Ben Pappas was the first one to do a 900. It was never Tony Hawk. Go watch that documentary on the Pappas brothers. One of them passed away, unfortunately, deleted himself. Ben. Taz is still around, but huge addiction. Those guys are Australian skaters. Australians have some great skateboarders. Must be the deserty island. That's all they did. Surf and skate. And drank Victoria bitters. See, I'm smart. Cynical and pessimistic, it just really is reality. So this is what I'm thinking. Divorce made me aware that the laws matter. Well said. Yeah, you don't want to be in a courtroom for anything. For anything. That's why the other video I did on the live stream, we talked about traps. Traps could be government, financial, corporate, you name it. You just don't want to fall into traps that could get you in trouble. You could be in a courtroom over what some lady coworker said to you. Right? You don't want to be in a courtroom for anything. You want to, if there's one thing I've learned in life, you want to stay under the radar. Now, am I staying under the radar right now? No, I show my face online. But at the same time, I'm not getting involved in sketchy shit. I try to run a conservative life, enjoy what I do. I don't drive crazy at night. I don't, do the things that could get me in trouble. Staying under the radar is a good thing. I just look a certain way. I don't want flashiness. I'm like that movie, Nobody. Who are you? I'm nobody. I like that. Realistic is a better word to describe red or black-pilled guys. Well said. JR, that guy I felt so bad for, especially when his wife was fluffing those guys in the driveway. Yeah, it was Gingerland Slam. My divorce is finalized over Zoom. I didn't even do audio from my phone. Damn. Divorce made me see through everything, Rad, not just about my ex, but it makes us see things. I want to be invisible. There you go. Yeah, Mayor gets it. Yeah, Charlie Sheen, he's like one of those guys that in rock stars date the porn stars. I don't think that's fair. I think that's a vanity flexing attention thing. Like Tito Ortiz that got married to Jenna Jameson. I mean, how does that guy go to sleep at night? He's got to be retarded. Just thinking that his lady's box had been ran through 10,000 times. The Canyon vulva. There you go. But what I was saying is this. There's certain things when you digest this and begin to identify with this new way of thinking and living that could be bad for you or could not be bad for you. How are you going to use all of this? There's only so much things that we can do to harp on to understand. And, you know, men coming into this space, they're angry. There's some anger issues. There's some frustration and they're upset. We get it. We all been through. So you're going to take your time to go through that. And then you realize, how can I use this information or this new version of reality to make my life better than it was the last 20 years being married and going through divorce? I could sit all day long and bitch and moan about the state of ladies, but there's nothing I can do to change it. 98% of women are not recommended. I've met some decent women in my life since my divorce, but they're still female. And I still have the beliefs I have. You know, the best way for Rad to take care of himself is no marriage, no cohabitation, and no kids or taking on kids or providing resources and staying out of the dopamine soup. I try to be on the radar. People still knew your name. There you go. Well, for some, it's turn on. You got it. Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of us get upset. I have yet to see anyone really thrive after divorce except you. There's guys that have, but I think a lot of guys are still stuck in the power they're giving to that circumstance, and it's warranted. The resource officer knew your name. He banged a few corn stars and thought it was a oh yeah, it's no flex to me. I think that guy's a retard. Most importantly, you will die alone. We all die alone, but at least we will live in peace as long. Well, we got friendship. You know, a lot of even when SCE passed away, everybody was looking for him. He wasn't alone. I mean, he'd been alone physically, but people were wondering where he was. But there's several creators, content guys that were looking for him, calling him. They hadn't heard from him in 24, 48 hours. Something's not right. For no reason. Well said, brother. They definitely have their ear. I don't have any old school decks. I don't. I had Tom Grohalski that I never sent back because it like dilapidated. And I tried to find it at my parents' house. That would have been worth something. It was a Tom Grohalski vision. Richard Cooper thrived no matter how corny he is. Yeah, he's doing fine. She was a high-end escort before she became an actress. Interesting. Pauly Shore blanked her up while she was coked up. Wow. Interesting. Post-divorce was liberating. Being a husband was the worst. It was tough. You might not be wrong, Mars, with all that sweat and blood and probably some pokeability. All right, brother. Thanks for being here, Brian Renard. But it's easy as most males are beta and delusional, do not trust themselves. Well, I think this is the issue. I think you get to a point where you're going to have to find out that you have to trust in yourself. And you're going to have to put it, you're going to have to not give your power away to the past. And we've all been there, right? This sounds like a Tony Robbins thing, but seriously, at the end of the day, you have to realize I can't give power to that ex-wife anymore. I can't give power to that kid that is so disrespectful. I have to decide, you know what it is, accept it and move on. You can't, all of this information is great. All the camaraderie is great, but how does it help us during the other 23 hours during the day that we're not, you're not listening to a live stream? I don't even have I have a fake book account, Mysterio, with a fake name, and I've got like 6 friends. I don't even know who they are, and I use it for my HOA and my mountain bike to see which trails are open. It took me almost 9 years to really start to thrive after divorce, but was married for 17, the constant court hearing. Yeah, I mean, it takes a while. It took me a long time. Even when the divorce was final, it took a while. It took another probably year to get through it. And then I had to say, enough is enough, Rad. Enough is enough. No more thinking. And then there's still residual. There's still sediment from that. I mean, I don't think I'll ever be over it, but when it does pop up, I know how to deal with it. And I need to say, you know what, that thought I had at one point, I'm not going to have that thought anymore, because every time I think about that, it gives the situation and it gives her power. She is nobody to me anymore. She's the mother of my kids and was a wonderful mother until the age of 13. I mean, she's been a decent mother since, but You get the drift. A great mother and a wife. Till the oldest got her period. And then it was anti-man. But I accepted that. We move on. It's as simple as that. We got to accept where we're at in life. And I've chosen and decided. You can choose, but I would say decision is even better. Once you decide that you want to live your life and go a different direction, a more positive, a more a richer direction for yourself personally, life gets better. I have no problem riding my bike by myself for 15, 16 miles up the hill. I love it. Eating by myself. I have no problem. I'm an extrovert because I've always been that way, but I love my personal time. I like to ride with a couple friends, but even if I don't ride with them, I don't care. Finding a way to, and some days you reach out when you hang out with folks, and it is what it is. And I look at a lot of my kids or my 24-year-old's friends, his friends are getting married. And I kind of just sit back and, they're still doing that today. More of a curiosity, like, how long will this last? Maybe it will last. Yeah. 2 kids. Well said. Out of your meat, money, assets, energy, attention, and time. Time and health is the benchmark. Without those 2, others suffer. Well said, who? Divorce is not the end. It seems that way in the beginning, and almost everyone leaves you, but that is where you rise from the ashes. Well said. My ex sent me a heartfelt birthday greeting via text. I was like, I remember she sent me one like 3 years ago. I didn't respond. No, I don't need I don't need to hear it. Slam says, giving away your freedom for a small amount of pleasure is never going to work out in the end. Well said. I love how positive Brother Rad is. Well, sometimes I get a little down, but, I'm not a perfect being. But if I try to live my life 90%, and I think the only thing that I've learned is to accept where I've been, where I'm going, and where I am. I have to accept that. If I don't accept it, then I fight myself. I fight that little voice in my head, and shit will pop up. And the greatest thing I've told people is what I do. When those negative thoughts come up, I usually say purge, delete, like a keyboard. I literally visualize a keyboard key that says delete. And I say those words, and it does something to me. It makes me forget. Really, I don't know, maybe it's that NLP, neuro-linguistic programming or something. And I also say, and if it's really a loud voice in your head, and we've all had those voices, that voice is never going away, by the way. I always say, to whom are these thoughts directed? Like say I'm having a negative memory comes up about the ex, and I'll say in my mind, to whom are these thoughts directed? And it'll shut it up. Might shut it up for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours. But it does something. Because that little voice is in your head. That little voice is what causes us to be successful and causes us not to be successful. Yeah, 6 to 7 is good for me, Mysterio. Acceptance is the key. Well said, Mayor. I have no problem being physically alone. I have tons of friends. Sure. Sometimes desperation is a major motivator to get things done. Yeah, and I know at this point in life what to do. I mean, I'll go hike at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Moving your energy is the best thing you can do. I mean, if you can't get, if you're in a mental and emotional state that is debilitating, the best thing is you can't really talk yourself out of it sometimes for the most part. If you haven't learned, purge, delete, or learn to write your thoughts out or whatever, is to literally move your physical energy. That is the best thing to do. Get out, walk, go. If you got 2 25-pound dumbbells, go lift them 100 times as fast as you can. Go do a bunch of body squats. Do push-ups for hell's sake. Go outside and do 100 push-ups. Acceptance, understanding, and direction gives us contentment, which they will never find. Well said. And I think as men, we see that logically. The key is getting out of the emotions and the mental state. That is the downfall of man. The difficult emotional and mental state will lead to bad decisions in the physical or the financial. radical. I find that if I have a poor night of sleep, I have more negative thoughts. Yeah. Mayor says the gym is his salvation. Well said. Was at the gym today, did my 3 sets of 12 dips, 3 sets of 12 lats, 3 sets of 12 rows, 3 sets of 12 military presses, some crunches and some body squats. That's all I do. Well, what's that come out? It's the adrenaline that comes out when you lift weights. I have an elderly dog with old man bladder that won't let me sleep. Results. That's interesting you say that. About 3 months ago, I got on the saw palmetto, and it's a game changer when it comes to the vas deferens being, number one, it thins out, so it leaks, makes us pee more. But I've been using saw palmetto, game changer. I don't wake up anymore to pee. I can hold my pee longer. It's a stronger stream. It's been a game changer for me. You'll find a way if you run out of toilet paper. I've done NLP, so you know. Eating healthy foods and taking a dump afterwards is my saving grace. There you go. Nothing wrong with a nice bowel movement. Take care, Christian. You seem pretty removed from your ex. Well, she'll pop up I had a dream the other night about her. I don't know what I was thinking. I went to sleep. I wasn't thinking about her. I don't know. Some subconscious residue. Few croutons that I didn't swallow, apparently. They're still floating around in that bowl. But the other's always going to be residual. Sure. So how do you deal with it? Yeah, I wish her well. I don't wish her, I wish her well with somebody else. I'll let somebody else deal with her. But I do wish her well. She's the mother of my kids. It's easy to keep your house clutter-free now that you're by yourself. Well said. Yeah. You want to see, I'll show you real quick. You can fart or do anything. I didn't want to work tonight. I called it off. Good for you. Gerald Montagna, good to see you. I have a super active mind that won't shut down. I get an hour or 2 of sleep, and pills don't help. So, yeah, I have an active mind too. I can completely agree with that. JR, gut health is everything. Take care of what you drink and eat. Well said. Keep that gut biome healthy. I've had dreams. No, go to sleep, Christian. You're good. But here's, I don't know if you can see that. There's my kitchen. I got a couple things here. There's my stove. There you go. Pretty clean. I got my hat here. I got my mouse, my Camelback. You've seen all that. What I'll have to do is I'll have to do try to keep it really clean because obviously I show it for work, or for the real estate. But now I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't have shit build up in the sink. That's another thing. That's another thing for men. Just clean all that shit. If anything, you want to change your state, make your bed in the morning and put your dishes away. That'll do a lot. That'll do a lot for you. Hang your towels up. Clean your mirror in your bathroom. Most women don't love the men, Christian. I keep my apartment clean just like that. Empty things clutter your mind. Yeah. They say the more stuff you have, the sicker you get. Give me $60K for the house. Add another 460 to it. We'll do a deal. Appreciate that. Minimalistic. And I just showed you I have an apple in a bowl, my Camelback. It's because I haven't cleaned it out yet. And just whatever. It's pretty much very orderly. People come in like, man, who lives here? A guy that doesn't want a lot of stuff. I need some order. That's what I do. I literally make my bed in the morning and I feel great. Every morning. Put the pillows up, fluff the pillows up. I don't know. It does something. I don't see how sitting around with a shrink is going to help a troubled soul. It won't. They just bring up the past. Exercise and walking. Yeah. You don't get a therapist. Get a physical education coach. Get a trainer. I think if more people used a trainer, a coach, a physical, a sports coach, that would go. The problem with therapy is they keep bringing up the past. Okay, these are the patterns you had. Get it from childhood. Most therapists don't work. Now, I'm not saying all don't work, but most therapy doesn't work. That's why people go to therapy for 20 years. How is it working? Maybe it does. Who knows? Maybe it's a placebo effect, but I never thought it was valuable. Gerald sleeps on the floor. Attaboy, even better. They say floor sleeping is really good. Work out in the morning and watch TV before working. My TV series. There you go. All right, get some sleep, brother. I'm going to cut this off anyways. What are these crowns in the chat? I have no idea what those crowns mean. No, live, laugh, love. You go, girl. I do have a James Dean poster. It says, dream as if you'll live forever. Live as if you'll lie today. One of my favorite James Dean quotes. Guys, it's been a great stream. We'll see you on the next one. And thank you for participating. Happy birthday to everybody, and we'll see you soon. I'm out. Peace.